Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Disaster Show! I'm not gonna tackle your drum set. I'm afraid of hurting myself. Come join us, come join us. Oh! Come join us. Okay, I'm ready. Hey, thank you. Hey, wait a minute. Who the fuck are you? Ren? No, you're not Ren. Alright, dude. You do realize that Ren is a faceless creator, right? Like, she isn't gonna show her face in this video? Yeah. Okay, so you realize that this was a really stupid fucking idea for an intro, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh. Well, I guess we should just cut to the review then. So, Darling in the Franxx is a show, for better or for worse, and I just rewatched it with my friends recently. And the reason I rewatched it was because I, for the life of me, could not remember anything from the show, aside from the fact that it had a bad ending, which I also did not remember. Anyways, I rewatched it with two of my friends, one of whom is here right now with me.
I just want to point out that I have seen this show now 4 times. Because I watched it the first time. Then I rewatched it with the friend who was also here. Then I watched it again because I literally could not remember the plot after watching it 3 times. Then a couple months later I was talking to my Zaster, still could not remember the plot, and we rewatched it.
And I think that reflects badly on the show, unless we all have dementia, which we probably do.
What were you talking about?
Anyways, after watching the show again, I can say with confidence that I'll probably forget it again. But what I won't forget is that the show fucking sucks. And not just because of the ending either. So today, Ren and I are going to talk about why the show fucking sucks, and we're going to give it a final review score at the end. So, Darling in the Franxx takes place in the future, and it follows a group of kids assigned to their respective mechs who are supposed to fight gigantic, scary monsters called the Klaxosaurs. Well, at least that's what the synopsis of the show is, because the show constantly forgets what it's about. But Ren and I will start out by talking about the positives of the show, because there are some. First and foremost, the animation is actually really good in this show.
Especially that one scene where that one brown-haired lesbian punches Hero.
Yeah, I think everybody wanted to see Hero get his ass kicked, or I mean, at least I did, and I count myself as every person. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah, despite Naomi being a lesbian, she does have her saving grace that she punched Hero.
But the animation being good is both a positive and negative about the show. It's a positive because Studio Trigger did the animation. They're my favorite animation studio. And it's also a bad thing because then I remember that Studio Trigger had involvement in this show, and I fucking hate this show. Moving on from the animation though, I also like the sound design a lot in the show. The soundtrack's solid, and also the intro and ending themes are very good. And the voice acting, I watched the dub, and the dub for the most part I thought was pretty good because it's a lot of big name voice actors. I hated Hero's voice though, which is kind of bad because he's the main character.
Just a preference. Hero's voice actor, I've seen him in other stuff. He's not that bad.
Yeah,
he's just horrible in this show.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I hate Hero. Moving on to the characters. Now, the characters were a really interesting aspect of the series, because I fucking hated half of them, but then fucking loved the other half of them.
More than half of them.
Okay.
It was like 3/4 of them sucked.
Okay, it's complicated, but we'll get to that. I really liked, both Ren and I liked Zorome, Miku, Ikuno, and Naomi. Naomi mainly because the show didn't have enough time to fuck her character over like they did with a lot of them. And speaking of which, we liked Futoshi and Kokoro until the show fucked them over.
Guys, Kokoro would have been such a good character if she was a lesbian.
That's actually true. She and Miku, I don't know if you people remember this from the show, but they had a lot of, like, gay interactions.
We'll go into that later in the video.
Actually, a lot of the characters did, but yeah, we'll get into that. But we can both agree that our favorite character by far out of all of them was Zorome.
02. We loved 02.
No, Zorome, not to be confused with 02, one of the worst characters in the show, but more on that later.
Guys, Zorome would give the best fucking high fives ever.
He is the cutest character ever fucking created, and he does not deserve to be in this garbage fucking show. He's just a fun little guy. When the fucking characters get into their stupid melodramatic bullshit with each other and it's dumb and it's annoying and cringe, him and Miku, who I liked almost as much, are just fucking off and doing their own thing. And Zorome is also adorable. Did I mention that yet? He's so fun and silly.
He would watch you, like, make a basket with, like, a basketball, and he would come up to you, like, all starry-eyed and be like, oh my god, you're the coolest person ever.
Speaking of Zorome, the best part of the story, and there are some other good parts, but there are
There aren't that many good parts.
Yeah, there are way too few of them, and even the good parts are pretty small, but more on those later. Zorome's focus episode was by far the best episode of the series, even from an objective standpoint, because when you look at it, it shows that they're actually, like, establishing a story and a lore that they never fucking advance later on.
They do. They establish it. They do nothing with what they established, but,
Exactly.
you know, what they established was pretty good.
But it leaves so much cool stuff just out there that's never touched on again. Like, is Zorome's mom the one that finds him?
That's gotta be his mom, dude.
Yeah, and, like, is whatever that's going on really bad for Zorome and the rest of the kids? It's such an insanely good episode. The story's super interesting. Zorome's awesome.
The other kids aren't in it. It's just Zorome and, like, his possibly mom.
Yeah, it's so cool, and the art in it is so fucking cool looking.
Dude, the like town, the whole like not town, the whole like city, like futuristic city landscape genuinely looks cool.
It's so awesome, and they never hit that peak again. Oh, also, I cannot believe we forgot to mention this, but 9A was also like one of the best characters. I guess we forgot it because he didn't have enough screen time. But he's like the fucking gayest, fruitiest motherfucker ever, and I love him so much.
He had so much screen time when he fucking died.
Yeah, it was sad that he died. Honestly, they should have just taken Hero instead. Mm-hmm. His ass was gonna die anyways, and I didn't care about him. Anyways, for the rest of the positives, which there are not a lot of, Nana was a pretty cool character, even if she was not super relevant.
Guys, I love red-haired characters. Like, Nana was so hot.
And honestly, can't even blame her, because as a bisexual, actually, I was about to say there was both good male and female hot characters, but I think she was like the only attractive character in the show, because everyone else is a little kid. More on that
or
later.
really ugly.
Yeah.
The Hachi. But at least we do know they're like the better. They're like Nana if it was good, you know? Better version of Nana and Hachi.
Nana and Hachi if they were good. And for the final, like, well, not completely good, but mostly good part of the series.
Mildly good.
The representation of certain things. First of all, the lesbian representation, gotta say, with the representation of, like, things that aren't represented enough in media, I did not expect this garbage show to handle it as well as it did, but it did.
Well, it handled it well in the scene where she actually, like, comes out.
So yeah, for context, Ikuno, who is one of the main characters, comes out as a lesbian, and it's hinted at in the early series, and it's brought up again at the end. She ends up marrying Naomi, which is really cool. But her coming out scene is, for the most part, pretty good. But
it starts off really bad, because, like, Okay, it doesn't start off really bad. The first thing she does is, like, push Ichigo onto the bed, which made it look like it was gonna be a really bad scene. But once she actually starts talking about being a lesbian, she actually talks about it, like, pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I personally view that first part as kind of like Ikuno's sort of desperation to kind of keep being close to Ichigo and less of a sexual thing. But given this show's track record, and also, I'm going to go with what the actual lesbian says here for obvious reasons.
I really like in Ikuno's coming out scene how she, like what she talks about with being jealous of all the guys who get to, like, be with Ichigo because they're guys, and how, like, the FRANXX didn't work because it was two girls. Like, I thought what she was saying about being a lesbian was, like, really good representation for what it's like being a lesbian.
Yeah, since you're, like, a girl and you pilot FRANXXs, I know it's...
Yeah. Me and my girlfriend tried to pilot a FRANXX together, and it, like, exploded.
And moving on to, like, the other representation, it involves a certain aspect of Futoshi's character, and before we go into it, I just want to point out that it involves eating disorders, and it may be triggering to people sensitive with that kind of thing. So if you are sensitive to that, skip to the timestamp displayed on screen. So in an episode later in the series, Futoshi is confirmed to have bulimia, and it's a pretty dramatic scene, and one of the dramatic scenes that is done better, and I thought that it was handled very well at the time. They never bring it up again later on. It's never even hinted at later on. So it's just made kind of useless later. But I think that in the moment, it is a very good scene. And obviously, I don't have this disorder, so I can't comment on how accurate the rep is. But I thought it was pretty interesting.
I thought they did it well. But they did it well for Futoshi and Zorome. Every other character in that scene did nothing.
And it really pisses me off and just further proves that Zorome is, like, the only, like, really, really good character. Like, Zorome is so amazing in this scene because in it, you know, he actually confronts Futoshi about the disorder, and he's the only one that gives half a shit about him. Like, he's actually fucking caring for Futoshi. No one else does shit until they just start, like, pretending to care. It's really fucking annoying. But aside from that, I think that it was actually a pretty good handling of it from a show that sucks and is usually horribly written.
Dude, Zorome, like, comes up being like, you know, I know you're not eating, and, like, he's actually caring for Futoshi. And then after, Hiro comes up and starts, like, patting Futoshi on the back.
It's like, talk about half-assed. And that is all for the positives, so moving on to the negatives. First of all, the fights were so boring. I didn't really like the drama, and so you'd think that, like, I was just focused on getting to the action. But no, the action was boring too. Every single fight, except for the later part of the series, which I'll get into, took place in, like, just a desolate fucking brown with a blank sky area. All the robots looked like fucking Brawl Stars characters. And the fucking Klaxosaurs looked like cool at first. But then once you realize each of their designs just boils to, like, a random black and blue futuristic looking dinosaur, it just becomes fucking boring. And I really wish that they tried and made the fights more interesting, since, you know, they have a lot of potential given how it's, like, fucking massive robots fighting. That's usually pretty exciting. And, of course, following that, the drama, which I mentioned earlier, was also really boring, and it felt forced, and it was really stupid, especially since most of it concerned characters that I did not give half a shit about. Hero and Zero Two, for example, I did not care at all about their stupid dramatic scenes because I didn't like either of them, for reasons I'll get into later. And even some of the drama surrounding the characters that I did care about just felt super forced and just dumb.
Can we also talk about how Zero Two and Hero genuinely felt like side characters at a certain point? Because we focused on Zorome so fucking much. He genuinely felt like the main character.
Yeah, at that point, neither of us were watching for the main characters, and they felt not like main characters at all.
Every time they were on screen, I just kind of tuned out the show.
Just waited until the next moment Zorme was on screen.
I was just like, oh my god, Zorme, who the fuck is that pink-haired bitch standing in front of him?
Moving on from that to a more serious issue with the show, the fan service in it. Normally, fan service in anime is already bad enough, but I'm able to ignore it because I'm sadly used to it. But the fan service in this show all revolves around 14-year-old kids, which is very weird and very concerning, as a lot of better critics of the show have pointed out. It's not only weird, it's also such like a weirdly focal point of the show. The mechs are literally designed to look like the kids are fucking having anal sex.
Dude, Kokoro's whole pregnancy storyline.
One of the kids gets fucking pregnant and is glorified. They have sex. It's weird. And
more on that later.
Yeah. And also, let's not forget all the changing room scenes in the fucking beach episode.
The entire fucking boys versus girls episode.
Sort of on the same topic also. Hiro was a fucking victim. The two girls in the love triangle with him, both on
the fucking love triangle. Oh my god.
On more than one occasion, forced themselves on Hiro.
There are 3 girls. 02, Ichigo, and Zero Blue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the fucking Klaxosaur princess near the end, too. I forgot about her. All 3 of those characters kiss Hiro without consent, force themselves on him, especially 02, who's supposed to be, like, his main love interest.
She forces herself on other people, too.
And it's not supposed to be portrayed as that, because we're supposed to be rooting for them the entire time. Mm-hmm. And I already wasn't, but Ren and I just looked this up, and we found out that 02 is 18. Hiro's 14. Their relationship is illegal.
Dude, the entire fucking show, we were like, I know we thought 02 was supposed to be like 14, 15. We're like, man, they're like the same age, but something about it just feels like she's a pedophile. Like, she looks so much older, she acts like she's grooming him. Like,
yeah.
We were fucking right. She is a pedophile. Speaking
of weird relationships in the show, Kokoro and Mitsuru's relationship. We already touched on them a little before. Kokoro and Mitsuru basically have sex, and Kokoro gets pregnant, has a child. Their entire relationship was so fucking stupid. It was forced and dumb, and especially since we already said this, Kokoro would have been a much better lesbian. Mitsuru's just an asshole.
This is why I say Kokoro would have been better as a lesbian. She wasn't that bad of a character.
Until she interacted with Mitsuru. It was so fucking annoying. So, I've noticed that a lot of my videos end off on a negative note. So, I'm going to talk about one more negative thing with the series, even though there's so much I could talk about, and then move on to talking about Zorome some more, and then other shit. Yeah. So, the last bad thing I wanted to talk about was the ending, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Dude, can we talk about the ending? Because I have no clue what fucking happened.
Me neither. Everyone else has already talked about it, that has talked about the show.
Naomi and Ikuno.
Oh yeah, them ending up together is good. Everyone else that has talked about the show has already probably talked about the ending, so all I'm going to say is it sucked, it made no sense. The entire second half of the show also kind of fits that description. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to end this video on a positive note, so let's talk more about Zorome.
Yeah, Zorome.
Zorome, without exaggeration, carried the entire fucking show. I mean, maybe some other characters kind of carried the show at times, like 9A and Naomi and like Ikuno, but Zorome was the best by far at carrying the fucking show. He carried the one scene with Futoshi. He carried the fucking beach episode that sucked.
Oh yeah.
Because he was so cool and awesome.
He was the only character that told Hiro before he tried to kiss him.
Yeah, he was the only character who let Hiro know he was going to kiss him instead of just fucking doing it without consent. And also that scene was fucking hilarious. And I love Zorome. We love Zorome. Come join us. Come join us. The Zorome fan club. Subscribe if you want to if you're the Zorme fan club. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching. Sorry it was kind of a messy video. So, if you liked it, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, all that shit, because it really helps me out. This is something I'm hoping to do in the future. So, if I could get monetized on YouTube, that would be great. And of course, this wouldn't be a review without a review score. We would both give Darling in the Franxx a 3 out of 10.
I have it ranked as a 2 out of 10, actually.
Oh, well, I would give it a 3 out of 10.
I might change it to 3 for Zorme.
Yeah, Zorme kind of carries. So yeah, thank you all for watching. We're going to be talking about ships after the credits if you want to see that. I know not everyone does, which is why it's after the credits. So if you do want to see that, stick around. And if not, then thank you and have a great day. Bye. Okay, let's talk about ships now. So I did this in my Bocchi the Rock video, and that was a pretty fun time, but it's not going to be a pretty fun time now because all the ships in the show fucking suck. Okay, wait.
Only the canon ones.
Well, Ikuno and Naomi was good.
Oh, yeah.
But they kind of rushed it a little.
And Zorme and Miku wasn't that bad.
Zorme and Miku is not canon, actually.
Is it not?
They don't ever, it's never explicitly stated that they end up together. Which is so weird, because they're like the only good straight couple in the show.
Hey, what about Mitsuru and Kokoro?
Oh my fucking god. 02 and Hiro sucked. Mitsuru and Kokoro sucked. Ichigo and Goro sucked for a number of reasons. I did not even like Goro, because I thought he was boring, but holy shit, he deserved way better. Ichigo probably just married him because she's like, well, Hiro's gone now.
No, because Goro wasn't even that fucking bad. He's like ruined by his obsession with Ichigo.
Yeah, but that's where our ships come in. As you all know, I only have right opinions on this channel. And so...
Can I just preference? Because a lot of people will think we're just hating on the ships because they're straight and like saying we like all the gay ships. We hate the straight ships because they are bad, apart from the fact that they are straight. And these gay ships are just literally better for the characters. Exactly.
So, Zorme and Miku, I think, was a good ship. I see them both platonically and romantically. I think it works either way. Zorme...
It's like Denki and Jiro from My Hero.
Yeah.
Not that we like My Hero.
We hate My Hero, but we do like those characters.
Yeah.
Zorme and Hiro... Hiro is a boring bitch, but I like their one kiss scene. That was funny. Hiro and Goro were kind of gay as hell.
Goro would have been such a better character if he was gay.
Yeah, Hiro and 9A, I think, are also pretty cool. Hiro could have had potential if they made him look more interesting, and if he was with one of the people he actually had chemistry with and not 02.
If 02 just wasn't in the show, it would be like 10 times better.
Yeah. And then Kokoro and Miku. I really liked Kokoro and Miku.
Guys, Kokoro... I like the idea that Kokoro is canonically straight and Zorme is gay because, you know, Miku's bi and she swings both ways, but both ways swing away from her.
That's a great headcanon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we wanted to say about the ship. So once again, thanks for watching.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Bye.